lot of brand pop-ups miss the mark completely, and it's costing them big. By the end of this video, you'll know the 7 key elements that separate the forgettable activations from the ones that leave a lasting impact. If you ever poured time, money, and energy into a brand activation that had lackluster results, don't worry, you're not the only one. The difference between an activation that flops and one that truly connects with its audience comes down to a few critical details. I'm lucky enough to be in a unique position where I get to work with hundreds of brands and agencies that deliver brand activations on a regular basis. And it gives me the best insights to see what are the things that make pop-ups truly successful. After seeing what works and what doesn't, I've been able to identify 7 things that I think every activation needs to stand out. I'm going to break them down for you one at a time. The first one is clear objectives. Define your goals first. Too many brand activations jump into the design phase without a clear purpose to begin with. That's like building a house without any blueprints. It's bound to fall apart. And one of the biggest mistakes I see people make is jumping into production before they've defined what their goals are. Are you trying to drive sales? Are you trying to build brand awareness? Or are you just trying to create an unforgettable experience? Without clear objectives, even the most visually stunning activations can fail. The best activations have a crystal clear goal. When we work at top agencies and brands and they can define this to us, it helps us help them make really smart decisions in the concept development process as we move forward towards fabrication. So here's a good way that I like to go about it. I find out the primary goal. Is it awareness? Is it engagement? Is it conversions? Is it something else? And then I want to define how they're going to measure this. Is it foot traffic? Is it social shares? Is it leads? And then I can help them align the design and budget with that goal in mind. But what if I have multiple goals? Well, here's a quick tip. Pick one primary objective and make it a priority. Secondary goals can support it, but shouldn't take away from it. The biggest mistakes I see here are not aligning objectives with KPIs. If you can't measure it, you can't improve it. And the other biggest mistake I see is trying to be everything to everyone. From my experience, this dilutes your impact. Understand the customer avatar that you want to appeal to and focus everything on them. Clarity is power. Define your goals and your pop-up will have purpose and direction. Number 2 is a deep understanding of your audience. Your pop-up isn't about you. It's about your audience. If you don't know them inside out, you're guessing, and that's a recipe for failure. Many brands assume that they know their audience, but assumptions can lead to activations that don't connect. If you don't understand what excites your audience, why are they going to care about your activation? The best activations are designed with the audience in mind. I've always found it's best to start by digging into their interests, behaviors, and expectations. So here's 3 things that are really good to do if you want to make sure your activation resonates with your audience. Research your audience, their demographics, preferences, and behavior. Then ask yourself, what's in it for them and what problem are you solving? And then tailor an experience to their expectations, not necessarily your brand vision. But Terry, what if my audience is broad? My recommendation here would be to segment them into groups and create a touch point in your activation to cater to each one of them. The biggest mistakes I see is designing for internal teams instead of designing for the audience, and then ignoring the feedback from your previous activations. Your audience is telling you what works. If you can get to a stage where you know your audience better than they know themselves, your activation is going to feel like it was made just for them. And number 3, staying true to brand. And I know I just said don't design for the brand vision, but let me break this down. If your brand activation doesn't feel like your brand, people aren't going to remember it. And worse, they're not going to connect it back to you. I see many pop-ups chase trends instead of reinforce their own brand identity. And the result? An activation that looks cool, but fails to leave a long-lasting impression with its audience. Your activation should be a physical, interactive extension of your values, colors, and messaging, and it should be unmistakably you. And here are 3 ways to help you achieve this. Stick to brand colors, font, and voice, because consistency builds recognition. Ensure your experience aligns with your brand's personality, whether that's fun, luxury, high energy, whatever it might be. And lastly, to tie your activation's message back to your core story. Yeah, but what if we want to try and do something different? Look, innovation is great, but just make sure that your audience recognizes the brand behind what you're doing. You don't want to be following the latest trends at the expense of your brand's identity. And you don't want to be overcomplicating the message, because clear, simple messaging always wins. When people walk away, it should instantly connect the activation in your brand. Number 4, create an unforgettable experience. People won't remember your logo, but they'll remember how you made them feel. Static displays and uninspiring expo booths get ignored. Experiences, on the other hand, create emotional connections and lasting impressions. Think of your activation as a story that people step into. It needs to be immersive, engaging, and unforgettable. And here's how I've seen this done really well. Firstly, it needs to be interactive. Give people something to do, not just look at. Next, try to engage multiple senses: sound, touch, smell, so on. You know them all. And lastly, a great strategy I've seen used is incorporating some kind of gamification, unexpected twist or surprise element. And for those of you with smaller budgets, even small touches of this stuff can make a huge difference. Biggest mistake I see is people doing activations that don't draw people in to get engaged. That's when you've got a wasted opportunity. Make your activation something people feel, not just see. Number 5, storytelling. Give people a narrative. Facts tell, but stories sell. Your pop-up brand activation needs to be a story people want to be a part of. Without a story, your pop-up is just a bunch of props and branding. And the biggest mistake brands make is when they focus on what they want to say, not how they want to make people feel. Humans are wired for stories. Research from the Harvard Business Review showed that emotionally driven campaigns perform twice as good as rational ones. Why? Because our brains are built to remember narratives more so than just facts. When an activation can tell a compelling story, it creates a hook. One that sticks with the audience long after they leave. And the best activations make people feel like they're part of the journey and they're not just a visitor. And I love working with brands and agencies that have projects that do this. Whether it's taking consumers through a brand's history, immersing them in a fictional world, or making them a protagonist of an interactive experience. And here's how I've seen brands do this really well. First, they define the core story. Is it a journey of discovery? Is it a transformation? Or is there a challenge to overcome? Next is building activations that move people through story, using spatial design, timed reveals, and interactive elements to create a structured experience. And lastly, they make the brand the guide, not the hero. People connect best with stories where they're the main character. And when brands can create this for people, it's going to create the deepest connection. But isn't storytelling more for ads than activations? Not at all. Storytelling is the difference between a one-time experience and a long-lasting impression. Your activation should make them feel like they've stepped into your world to experience something that they've never had exposure to before. Number 6 is social media shareability, amplifying your reach. If it's not on social, did it even happen? Many activations fail because they don't encourage sharing, missing out on massive organic reach. A great activation should extend beyond the physical world and into the digital one. Sharing isn't just about vanity metrics, it's about influence. A report from Nielsen showed that 92% of consumers trust peer recommendations more than traditional advertising. And another study by Ventrac showed that 98% of consumers create digital content at events. And 100% of these people feel more connected to the brand post-event. If your pop-up activation or event isn't designed for shareability, you're missing a massive opportunity. Build your activation with these social moments baked in. And look, this doesn't mean adding a branded hashtag. It's about crafting share-worthy experiences that people want to post about. And I've seen a heap of brands do this by using these 3 strategies. Firstly, creating photo-worthy moments, stealthy stations, stunning backdrops, AR filters, and interactive props. The next one is to encourage social sharing with incentives. This might be contests, live polls, or real-time rewards for engagement. And lastly is to leverage user-generated content, also known as UGC. And you can do this by encouraging visitors to contribute. But Terry, what if my activation's small? Well, here's the thing. Even a single well-designed moment can generate thousands of impressions. The goal shouldn't be about how many interactive things you can do. It should be the impact that you can create from whatever you've got in front of you. When people share your activation online, they become your brand ambassadors. Make it easy, make it fun, and watch the reach explode. Number 7, the power of surprise. Create memory anchors. The best activations have one thing in common. They catch people off guard in the best way possible. If your activation is predictable, it's forgettable. Without the element of surprise, your brand is just doing another pop-up in the sea of marketing noise. Now, it's important to understand that surprise isn't just about theatrics. It's about how our brains store memories. Neuroscience research shows that unexpected moments trigger a release of dopamine, and this strengthens our ability to form memories. This is why we remember unexpected brand experiences more than just the standard ones. A study from the Journal of Consumer Research showed that unexpected experiences increase brand recall by over 50%. A surprise element, big or small, creates excitement and engagement. I've seen firsthand how subtle moments of unpredictability can transform a pop-up from interesting to unforgettable. And here are some things you can do to make sure your activation has the same impact. Number one is to use unexpected reveals. This could be something that's hidden but unfolds over time. Number two is to offer exclusive content or experiences. This could be special access, VIP surprises, or limited time elements. And lastly, create live, real-time interactions. Personalized engagements make people feel like they're part of something unique. Some might worry that these surprises might sound a little bit gimmicky. Well, not if they're strategically tied to your brand experience. It's important to remember that the goal isn't shock value. It's delight, intrigue, and engagement, because surprise equals memorability. Give people something they didn't expect, and they'll be talking about it long after the activation's over. Alright, so there we have it. The 7 key elements that every pop-up should consider to go from forgettable to something that leaves lasting impact. To do a quick recap, the first thing we need to do is set clear expectations, understand the audience, stay true to the brand, focus on the experience, leverage storytelling, make it shareable, and incorporate surprise elements. If you can incorporate some of these features into your pop-up activation or event, you're going to be on to a winning formula. I hope this is helpful. I'll catch you in the next one.